Okay, so the reason why we put all their strength circuits on video is to help you. Sometimes people come in this facility and look around and think, how am I gonna know how to do all this stuff? And the reason why most clubs you go into have one strength circuit, maybe two, or they may have a machine where they have duplicated it one time over. We've got 5 or 6 machines for every body part, and so it's kind of confusing sometimes when you walk in here because it looks like a warehouse. So the videos are going to help you, and here's why. I put every video as if I were training you myself. So when you watch the Magnum circuit or the Cybex or whatever circuit, it's going to be like I'm taking you to the machine. I'm demonstrating how to do the adjustments, settings, everything. I want to show you these workout cards and while we have it. So when you're doing a circuit, every circuit in here has a workout card, whether it be the women's side on the Live Fitness circuit, which is this card here. This card here is going to be the 3 main circuits, which Connor's going to show you out here on the floor. When you're looking across the floor here, you see the blue and the red and the black, you see the yellow. Each one of those colors represents a full body workout. And what I mean by that, every circuit has a certain amount of machines in it. So I'm going to give you an idea. Like this card is called the trifecta card. The very first side has what we call the Magnum circuit. The second side is going to give you the Cybex, and it's going to give you the Hoist circuit. Now when you're looking at this, I'm going to show you a card down here. I'm going to use this as a sample. So someone can come in if they want to, go through this on their own. The video will help you a lot if you're going on your own now because it can be, again, like I'm there with you. But we also have personal trainers here who are glad to take you through the circuit. We always, a lot of times, do that at discounted rates too, meaning you can go 30, 45 minutes with a trainer. They're going to go through, set everything with you. They're going to have a workout card. When you get done, they're going to have a sheet that says rate your trainer. This is a neat thing because it lets Marcia and I know that our trainers are doing the best they can. It lets you rate from their personality, how good they were as far as explaining everything, and then they go through each of these questions to make sure you understand, and then they show you how to file the card. Now when we get through at the end of the video, I'm going to show you where you file your card if you decide to go with a trainer or just use a card. Remember, you don't have to use a card. The reason why I like it is I see people all the time, they'll come up to me and say, hey, man, I can't remember where my adjustment was on the last time, or hey, what weight I was doing. When you use a card here, you'll literally be able to go through. Let's say, give an example, this one here on the Magnum, the leg press. I'll be able to write my adjustment here. I'll be able to put my weight over top of my reps, put the date, and then every time I work out, I can keep up. If I want to move the weight up, I'll remember what I went up to next time, and then I also will remember my adjustment on whatever machine so I can really get after it when I work out. Remember, most people don't have but about 30 minutes to an hour to work out, so they need to be able to get in, get out, and get on with their life. Now, with that in mind, I'm going to show you how a workout card works, how simple these are. You'll kind of see on here where it asks your name. I'm just going to put my name here. I'm going to put my age here. Let's say age here. I'm going to put my age here. Now, it's going to have a little thing here the American Heart Association sets up where it says 220 minus your age. Now, I'm going to do this on a calculator and make it simple. 220 minus my age. It's going to give me a maximum heart rate of 163. Now, what I want you to think about that right here, you could really go in detail, and I have a video on the website. You can go in cardio where I go more detail, but in this case, I want you to think about this. 163 beats a minute is my max. It's the same as you getting your sports car, accelerating, getting the RPMs in the red. That's a sign that you need to back off. For when you're in your maximum heart rate and you keep it there, that's not going to do you good. Now, I'm not going to go in detail about this, but it can cause some heart damage. You see it all the time in health clubs now. People come in deconditioned, they go way too much. So American Heart Association sets up a standard. They take your maximum heart rate and they times it by 60% when you start off. The reason why we do that, I want you to visualize if I'm taking you through a workout and I get you on a machine and I say, hey, I'm going to see if you can lift 300 pounds. You're going to think, what are you talking about? Let's just take the same machine. Let's say it's a chest press. Let's say I know I wouldn't put 300 pounds on, but let's just say I put 30 pounds on. I say, hey, tell you what, get on this machine and I want you to do it about 15 times. Now, at the time you do it, I say, you know what, hold on. I tell you what, I forgot I got a lunch break coming up. I'm going to be gone 30 minutes. If you don't mind, can you keep doing that same weight till I get back? That's going to be just as stupid, right? So what I want you to think about is this. The heart's a muscle. And the thing with that, if I'm doing a weight and I'm going too heavy, I'm going to know if it's a bicep curl, I'm going to know that I got that burn. I know I'm going to pull something. With the heart, though, you don't feel it usually until it's too late. That's why you have heart attacks all the time in health clubs. People come in deconditioned, they push it too hard. So with this in mind, I want you to look at what they do. They start off at 60%, just like I would if I had you on weights. If I had you on weights, I'd probably go about 60% of what I think you can do, and you slowly build up so we can avoid soreness or anything like that, or pulling muscle or anything like that. So on here, I'm going to give you one idea. I'm going to take that 163 here, and I'm going to times it 0.60, and it's going to give me 97. Now 97 is going to be 60% of my maximum heart rate. So if I were a beginner, say I'm totally out of shape, been sitting on the couch forever, I come in here, decide to work out, I'm going to advise you at first to not go above 97 beats per minute, meaning if I take a resting heart rate right here on this card, it's going to give you room to put your resting heart rate. Let's say your resting heart rate 70. Now if your resting heart rate 70, I'm going to have you get on a bicycle, treadmill, go for about 5 minutes, just at a slow speed. When you get off, I'm going to take your pulse. If your pulse has jumped more than 10 beats, let's say it's jumped to 80. If it jumped to 80, then I'm going to put a recovery at 80. I'm going to know that your heart rate is not bad. You're probably, not really deconditioned. Now, if it jumped up from 70 to 90, that's going to let me know that, hey, you haven't been doing anything. You need to really take it easy. At that point, I would say, hey, start off at 97 beats per minute. Don't go 30 minutes to an hour on a treadmill or a bike. Start off at about 10 minutes. Then what you're going to do is at 10 minutes, you're going to slowly move up, maybe 5 minutes at a time until you get to 30 minutes. When you get to 30 minutes, I want you to do that 97, which is 60% for about 2 weeks. And then I want you to raise it up to 65%. 2 weeks later, 70%. 2 weeks later, 75. 2 weeks later, 80. 2 weeks later, 85. Now, think about this for a second. This is a conditioned person at this point. They took 3 months to get it where they want to. They're now still working out because their energy's up. If you push it too hard from here, way over here, your energy is probably going to go down. 6 weeks from now, you're not going to be working out at all. So look at this. Make fitness a lifestyle. Start off slowly, build up. Also remember this. If you're over 65, your doctor may tell you not to go above 75 to 80. Make sure you consult your physician before you do it. So a lot of times on seniors, depending on the age, we tell them 70, 75 is as high as we want to go, okay? So just remember that. Now, this card is going to explain everything you're doing, how many reps you're going to do. If you're doing 10, 12, 15, it'll ask you your goal, so you'll know how many reps you need to do for that goal. And then down here will be your workout. So if you're using a card, just make sure to go to the front desk. Say, how can I use one of the workout cards? Now, within that in mind, we're going to go out on the floor now, and I'm going to show you how to start one of the circuits. Remember, all the circuits are on video right below this video. I want you to watch all the videos, see how you like the machines. Each machine will be different. So remember, if you start one circuit, don't stop right there. Now, I'm going to say this to you. This club has pros and cons. The pro is there's enough equipment here that you won't ever get bored. You won't plateau and you won't wait in line, okay? The negative is when you first walk in and you never worked out before, you're going to think, what am I going to do? So I want you to think about this. If you decide to do one of these circuits and that's it, whether it's the one on the women's side, if you're women, if you decide to do the blue circuit, red or whatever, if you decide to do it and you want to stay on there forever, stay on it forever. I'm going to tell you this though, the reason why we have so much stuff is we opened in 1995 with one goal, and that was to stay in business until me and Marsha retired, okay? We've been open almost 30 years at this point. 1995 when we opened it, we'd love to see 20 more years, and the only way we can do that is keep you from getting bored and plateauing and waiting in line for equipment. People will leave a gym if they have to wait in line for equipment. So now that you have 5 circuits, you shouldn't have to worry about any of those 3 things. So remember, stay on the circuit as long as you want to. Don't be scared to move into the other circuits, because what you're going to do is you're going to do like the rest of it. You're going to find your favorite piece of each circuit, and you'll probably eventually do what we call split workouts, where you're not just doing full body anymore, you're doing different body parts, and you'll find that you may love the machine here in this circuit, the machine in that circuit. So let's get an idea more about these circuits, okay? So when I was talking about different circuits, you can see the different colors. Let's look at this one first. This is the Magnum. Now remember, I always like to do this when I'm on tour. I'll tell somebody, hey, Magnum, just look at it like if it were a car, if you drove a Chevrolet or Ford, Honda, whatever. Let's say Magnum is a Chevrolet. Now this one is the Cybex, the blue. We'll say it's Ford. In the middle, you're going to have the Hoist Rocket. We're going to say it's Toyota. Back in the very back, you can barely see the yellow back there. That's the hammer strength. We'll call it Jeep. Now, what I mean by that, if you look here, these machines on the cards, you're going to have all the machines listed in order. But on the video, when you're doing these videos below this one, you're going to see that I'm going to actually be pointing out everything. To give you an idea, I'll just use this one for example. It's going to show you how to start and stop, what muscle you're working. I'll be showing you how to do the adjustments and settings and so forth on all these. They're not hard to do, but what I see a lot of times is several years back we put these on video, and all we did is we showed a few repetitions of the form, but most people now want to know the how and why. In other words, how do I do it and why am I doing it to start off with? Now, I want to show you something though. No matter what circuit you choose to start off on, think about this. If you're a beginner, I'm going to tell you a story I do and I tell people on a tour, especially if they're young. Let's say I did martial arts for 20 years. It took me 20 years to get my flexibility where I could do the splits everywhere I went. Now, I go on vacation for a couple months, I come back, I can't do the splits anymore. All of a sudden I'm tired as can be. So a lot of times on this card, you're going to see it's going to have you do a flexibility test. What it's doing basically, if I'm doing a flexibility test, I'm just going to have somebody stand like this and stretch down as far as they can, and when they get there, they'll hold that for 5-6 seconds. And I always ask, hey, do you have tightness in your hamstring? Oh yeah. That tightness is everywhere through your body. So when you work out your first time, whether you're with a trainer or not, think about this. Don't go real heavy. I want you to go something that's light. I want to see if you get sore from the range of motion. And here's why. You ever, like in the fall, raked a yard, you haven't done it in a year, you didn't do anything hard, but you're sore the next day? It's just a different range of motion. So every one of these machines are going to hit every muscle group. They literally start off legs, chest, back, shoulder, arms, and abs. It's like remodeling your entire body at the same time. The issue, if you go real heavy, two things could happen. One is you could be so sore you don't want to come back the next time, or you could get sick halfway through the circuit. So start off real light. You've got plenty of time to move the weight up. Start off light on them and move the weight up. Usually it takes 3 to 4 times of working on a particular circuit before you get to weight right one. Now, how do you adjust the weight? Here's how you adjust it. If you're doing 1 or 2, on this workout card, it's going to show you here, most of them all are going to show you where it says 2 sets. That's a 7th workout. What that means is you're going to work out every other day, say Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Then you'll work out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday again. On the following Monday, which is 7th workout, you're going to go to 2 sets. Now, it doesn't mean you have to, but typically, most of the time, people will move up to 2 sets. If I do 2 sets, let's say I'm on this one here, I'm going to go 1 set, I'm going to rest about 30 seconds, I'm going to do another set, then I'm going to move to my next machine. Now, when I do 2 sets, I don't want to hold back on the first set. In other words, if I'm doing, say, 15 reps, the way I'm going to know when to move the weight up, I want to be able to do 15 reps and think, I couldn't have got another one, but I did not sacrifice the form. Now, if I do 15 and think I could have got 25, then I'm going way too light. I want to adjust the weight, and that's how you'll know it. So you always are going to be the one to know when to move the weight. So remember that when you're working out, no matter what circuit you're doing, move the weight up, but don't be scared to move it up, but don't cheat when you're doing form or you could get hurt. So that's a basic idea. Remember too, when you have questions on anything at all, just holler at me in the gym, okay? When you file your card, you're going to have boxes all through the gym where you'll file your card. You can file it in this box here. And again, I'm talking about the workout card. There's also one on the women's side. So just kind of remember that. It's going to be in alphabetical order here. You can just file your card here when you get done. Remember, you got a lot of people going through these, so it may not be in exact order when you're done, but it should be pretty well close to it. If you have any questions, just ask the staff, okay?